Yo, what's up everyone? Today's video for second place at regional with Mitsurugi, the best deck of the format. Second place would have been first. Oh, I lost last round. So close. But that's okay. Second place is still alright, I guess. So, in this video, I'm going to show you my actual exact deck list. Because I'm taking this to the YCS. And this is the best deck by far. Now, I did not want to reveal my deck list. I was going to save it for the masterclass. Instead, guys, if you love Mitsurugi, you join that masterclass right now. Instead, I actually thought of something even cooler. Every single person from now until Tuesday that joins the masterclass, by the way, it's live on Tuesday. We already posted one yet. I did a masterclass live yesterday, and it was amazing. Everyone learned so much from it. Literally, I told them yesterday, I'm going to win with this deck, and I second place, I guess, close enough. I'm going to be releasing 100 different replays with this deck on Tuesday, so make sure to be there. We're going to go over the exact list, how I done it, and we're going to game plan our siding patterns and everything. So if you haven't already, join the Mitsurugi Masterclass. You're going to be getting 3 sessions, 5 hours each, 15 total hours, as well as access to hundreds and hundreds of replays and my exact YCS deck. This is the one I did today. I will be making 3 changes in the deck for the YCS, which I'll say in the Masterclass. But this is my regional deck list, and I'll tell you everything you know about the deck beginning to end. All right, with that being said, let's go! I'm so excited. All right. So, first things first. That's right. I am maxing out on all the Mitsurugis. 3 of everything here. Now, obviously, I'm not playing Kusanagi. At 3, playing a 1 of. Not playing Serpent. The way you play this deck now is very different. Why did I win YCS Anaheim? Because you have your engine of this as your kind of like your main engine that you want to resolve. If you ritual summon, the duel's over immediately. And then, what about the secondary engine, right? The secondary engine is just Ryziel. Now, I love Ogdodix. I think they're very cool. Ogdodix are extremely cool. But the thing about Ogdodix is, with Ogdodix, it plays way too much into Nihilus, and it makes Dweller a lot worse against your deck. If we play properly, as I teach these tricks in the masterclass, against rank 4 decks, you side out Maximus, side out a lot of your Mitsurugi engine, side out anything that against rank 4 decks that Dweller will hurt. And that way, when they Dweller you, they're going to blind Dweller you, you don't really give a fuck. You don't care at all. So that's how I'm building the deck right now. And I hate to say that's how you defeat the deck, but I want you guys to know everything about this deck beginning to end. I reveal so much stuff on that class. I don't care if it sounds like someone saying push it. You guys got to get it and learn everything. So the idea of it is same with Fiendsmith. It's like this, instead of playing Fiendsmith, this is just a 10 times higher payoff. And the game plan is very simple. You just want this ritual summon. Now, one cool thing about this deck is, now, yes, you do need to open 1 of each. I understand that. However, Prayers and Saji are any one of these. So the way you look at it is, yes, you do want to have 1 of each of these in your hand. However, any of these 16 equal any of them that you want. Does that make sense? So because any of these 16 equal whichever missing piece you have, it does work out a lot better, and you do only need 1 sword. So it seems like, oh, I need 2 cards to play, but you're not necessarily drawing like 3 ritual spells in your hand. You're not playing 20 different ritual spells, 20 different ritual monsters. Because you're only playing a minor amount, but still 3 of each, like still it's good. You want to open this for sure in your hand. It's a lot easier than you think to resolve. And the name of the game is, with as little bricks as humanly possible, you want to just have strictly starters and as little and like non-necessary engine as possible. And you just want to ritual summon. Because if you ritual summon, you win. And but one more thing, by playing a much higher Mitsurugi count, your grind game's crazy. You always end on 5 cards in hand after your opponent's turn. So you want your prayers to resolve to add. So having multiple Sajis and multiple these are actually good. And any card, you just make sure anytime you're discarding a random card, you're discarding the ritual. Teach all that later. And yeah, 2 sword. 1 sword is better than 2 sword because you normal summon Saji a lot of the time. So your normal Saji and it gets stopped, sword becomes a brick. Sword is not a brick. In fact, node is not a brick either because you're always drawing 1 of these. So if you're drawing 1 of your 10 Ryzels, I'm playing a 42 card deck, this becomes an extender. So it's actually totally fine. And the game plan is these. Now I want to show one thing about the deck afterwards. There's a reason we're maxing out on the Saji count. So I want to summon Saji. No, Saji's my normal summon. Nothing else. Saji is the normal summon. Very strictly Saji's the normal summon. Sure, I could normal ice if I want to. If sometimes you do just play Ryzel, and that's fine because you're playing Ryzel with like at any time you could destroy them with this. But I want this to be the normal summon because I'm playing hand traps. I'm going to show you guys the hand traps later. And a very important reason is, let's say you're going second and you go Saji. Okay, now this is a very important trick I'm going to teach you guys that no one knows about, but you guys will know now. You go second, okay? So you open your 3 hand traps. Okay, let's say you open 3 hand traps. You open Saji. You open like another extender. Okay, so you're gonna have something like Nibiru on the field. Get 2 other cards in your hand, maybe another hand trap, and you go Saji. Saji effect. This is actually Saji's now 1-card combo. Saji is officially a 1-card combo. Saji is gonna search you the ritual spell. You're going second. They have the Nibiru token or a shit board they have if you just bestial them. Like if you multiple hand trap, then you go Reptilian Echidna. Reptilian Echidna, no one uses this. This is what I'm not playing the deer in this version. Reptilian Echidna, you target their monster or token because you just Nibiru them. Search your Murakamo. Boom, GG. You ritual summon with 1 Saji. Going second with hand traps to put themselves on board. Saji's a 1-card starter by itself. So I'm trying to max that out. That's right. I know. I'm the GOAT. I know. You heard it here first. That line I was saving for the YCS, but I want everyone to know. I want everyone to know right now. I'm Mitsurugi's daddy. But I'm your daddy too while it's at it. I'm talking to my camera woman. That's actually my pen goddess. It's my girlfriend. Anyways. And I'm not talking to other girls if they're watching. I only talk to one girl, my girlfriend, if you're wondering. I don't have multiple girls. I just have one girlfriend. Anyways, okay. What? Okay. Anyways. That's the way I want to play it. I want to leverage the links in the extra deck because we don't actually leverage the links as much as we want to. Yes, you're playing 3 Saji, 3 Ice. But Ice is also a special summon. And it happens a lot. Like going second, you have to think of the opponent's boards that you're dealing with. They're going to have the detonator set up in Caesar, right? Normal Saji, cross. Special Ice. Immediately Exiton. You get what I'm saying? Like, you got to think of the boards you're doing. I'd rather normal Saji, special Ice. Still playing 3 Ice because you don't need to open these cards to draw. And if you open Ice and Saji with prayers, you could always special summon the Saji. You could tribute the Saji, add Murakamo. You could either, if you want to play around Veiler Imprint, you could add it from Grave or Special. You have your special Saji plus the Murakamo. So that's something cool to note. We're going to go back into the list now. And if you recognize all these cards I showed you guys so far, there are no bricks. It's Ryziel Cross that I showed you and Node. Those are the 2 bricks per se that I've showed you. But with the way the deck is, I just want 4s on field. Node is a level 4 extender. I'm not considering it a brick because you're opening one of your 10 ways to Ryziels. And additionally, I also play Pot of Prosperity. Without Nadir Servant, Pot of Prosperity is the best card in the deck. I never said this out going first or second. I don't give a shit about Cross's draw. I don't care about Cross draw. I want to be able to summon, and this is whatever you want. It could be a ritual monster, it could be a normal summon, it could be a spell, it could be a Ryziel. Whatever you're missing, it is. If you want a hand trap or a defensive card, this is the best card in the deck because you do not need your extra deck at all. Without Nadir, it conflicts with Nadir, so you decide you want Pot or you want Nadir, one or the other. Because of the ability to play Reptilian Echidna and the links in the extra deck, I made the decision not to play Nadir for now. Alright, next, we play the 1 Kusanagi, and that's it. Rest hand traps. 16 hand traps main deck, 42 cards, and all these cards are good to see. Out of all these cards I just showed you guys, there are 3 cards I'm going to say that are not crazy. It is these 3 I'm about to show you right now. These are the 3, let's say, quote, bricks. In the other builds, there is Maximus, which is not a crazy brick because, again, just like Node Ryziel, this is not a crazy brick either. If you draw X Ryziel or Sword or Ice, you're going to have XYZ engraved. This can summon. Maximus can also banish the XYZ to send 2. So Node and Maximus are half bricks. I'm not playing Serpent. I'm not playing Purification in the main deck. Purification is not needed. It's another brick. I'm removing all these bricks and only playing these 2 that I'm considering bricks. But this also becomes not that bad to draw because hard drawing it, it's pretty fine when you have Ryziels because it's like a Called by the Grave that they can't expect that you hard drew. You start, if you hard draw Cross, you go against a hand trap deck, you go dual drive without activating the Cross. They'll hand trap dual drive immediately, obviously. Then you activate Cross, and they're like laughing. They're like, oh, you outplayed. Yeah, fucking outplayed. That's right. So yeah, those are the only 3 bricks. That way, now it's a hand trap deck. You're not going to have weird hands where it's like, all ritual monster spells. And then the hand traps, I play 16. In the main deck, I side into 22. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12. Now, one important thing to mention with the deck, because you do sometimes can brick by having, like, let's say half of these. Let's say you have, these don't put themselves on board. Ritual monster and ritual spells stay in your hand. Saji, even if it gets hand trapped, puts itself on board and plays. Like, it forces an interaction. If I summon this, I could get prayers. Oh, huge thing to mention. Huge. If you hard draw Saji and 4 hand traps, you auto win the duel. You normal Saji, you get prayers, you prayers, special Kusanagi from your thing. Even if you know the reptiles, Kusanagi add back prayers. You have these 3 in rotation, you auto win the duel. These three in rotation, basically every single turn, because your 4 hand traps will stop them. You go prayers, tribute the Kusanagi on field to add a Murakamo, special this, trigger, trigger, trigger. Like you're adding 4 cards in your hand, and that's cycling every single turn. So hard drawing Asaji or as your only play, or having Kusanagi as your only play with prayers, it's not the end of the world with hand traps. Because that if you draw that and nothing, you guaranteed at minimum 3 hand traps. That's how this deck is playable with hand traps. Similar to the Fiendsmith grind. Have you guys ever recognized how powerful this card is the best spell, quick play spell in Yu-Gi-Oh! As we speak right now. It's the #1 quick play spell in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's an absolute shame it's a common. This card will be reprinted as an ulti. This card's utterly an unbelievably good card, and it's a stronger grind game than Fiendsmith simply because of how these guys go. So this is a hand trap deck. I will play more hand traps probably at YCS. I don't care. If I open Saji and hand traps, I win the duel automatically. I don't give a shit. Additionally, because we're playing Nib, Nib can also tribute this, and it resolves as well. Side note, because you are playing like 3 bricks, so the Kusanagi, I'm not going to pull out the Node Cross, additionally with, let's say you hard draw 1 ritual monster or 1 ritual spell, this deck is prone to opening 2 of them that don't work together. The 3 bricks, or let's say 1 ritual spell. Let's say you draw 1 brick and 1 ritual spell. That's 2 cards that are unplayable. Then you have like ice and then like 2 hand traps. Those are the worst hands in the deck because it doesn't play through hand traps. Now, in order to avoid more cards that might be dead, I'm only playing 2 of every hand trap, with the exception of Ash Blossom because it could be done on both turns. Additionally, I needed to stop Charmies. I'm only playing 2 of every other. I play 2 more hand traps on the side deck, but they're 2 ofs. If they're not 3 like infinite times per turn like Veiler or Imperm, or if they're not high impact like Fuwa, that's also not once per turn, or Perulia, it's 2 of no matter what. Ash is strictly a 3 because it could be used on your turn to stop, for example, Dual Drive, and then again to stop Paradise, and additionally it stops Charmy. That's the only hand trap that I'm playing 3 of. Everything else, I do not want dead cards. Nibiru's crazy, sure, but sometimes if you're gonna have it stuck in your hand. I'm not trying to fucking have that. So it is great, crazy, and because of Echidna, 4 monsters to put themselves on field is enough. That's enough. I don't want like too much shit anyway. Sometimes you do have to crash it as well with X Rizio. So additionally, while it's amazing to have with the Saji in scenarios, it's not amazing to have with the X. So make sure to always put the token in attack position to crash with the X. But I would still prefer if I had this to make it better. So that's the main deck. It's 42 cards. There is changes I would do to the deck, but I'm only going to explain those changes on Tuesday at the masterclass. Go check that out. I'll show you my exact YCS list that I'm going to be playing. Next, I'm going to show the extra deck now. The extra deck needs 2 King of the Pharaoh Imps. It needs 2 Twins of the Eclipse. It needs 2 Detonator. Alright, I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I don't care if you're playing Rizal Fiendsmith and you want to make Agnumde. Agnumde fucking blows. Rizal Fiendsmith, the deck I won a YCS with, also needs to be playing 2 twins. Because everyone's a bozo, you're playing 1 twins. I'm going to make a video on why this card's absolutely necessary 2 of after I win the YCS. Because I don't want people to play 2 of this at the YCS. It's fucking mandatory. The amount of times you might lose in Rizal Fiendsmith because they have X Rizal in hand, they already have twins engraved, and they just X send twins. Twins is so broken. I don't think you guys understand. Twins is absurdly broken. And it needs to be leveraged at 2. It makes a grind game infinite no matter what. And even though you're playing 1 dual drive, you're playing infinite dual drives because you're playing 10 dual drives basically because all your X Rizals are dual drive after turn 1. Same thing with infinite Exitons, infinite Dwellers. I would like the infinite Exiton. I would like the Exiton anytime I want. I would like the Dweller anytime I want. To be able to bring these back with twins is absolutely absurd and sickening. I love this card. Dugaris is also mandatory in this deck. You do need to sometimes just put it on God and draw 2. But additionally, Dugaris, there's a combo where Ice Rizal is a full combo by playing these. I would have won the YCS if by the way, so it's funny. I would have won the YCS, but I was playing around Bistials, and I had full combo through Bistial, like specifically Bistial in a scenario where I already went through all the hand traps you might have, but it was Impulse. Sometimes you can't play around everything, but make sure to play around Bistials with the twins if you can. Don't summon it. Like if your play loses to summon twins, don't do that because you're gonna obviously lose if that's your only play. That's all the rank 4s now. Because also aggregated, you still need to play it obviously. It makes X crazy. And I played Typhon. Now because there's no Nadir package, I have 4 slots to put in. All 4 come up, and I like it. I'm gonna explain which ones you should be playing. Typhon does come up because when they put up that board, there are scenarios where you could stop all the Veiler Imperm and then put them on nothing, and like you better draw like your 1 hand trap in hand will stop their 1 play. Sometimes it comes up. Next, it's Lizard and Echidna. I made Echidna once in the tournament, and it was the difference of winning and losing. Lizard, I did not make in the tournament, but in theory, it's a draw one in scenarios where you need to draw. And even though I'm playing SP in this, I would rather it be Dynamundo because Dynamundo came up as well. I knew I was going to miss it. Dynamundo comes up when you want to get rid of the Ryzel Cross or generically just anything. When you're basically playing Ryzel, when you're playing basically just Mitsurugi, you're going to have some weird hands sometimes where you just play Mitsurugi with no access to Ryzeals because I'm not playing no bricks like Serpent or anything like that, which is fine because that's enough to win the game. So you're going to have a lot of hands like this where you out the entire board very easily going second against all decks, literally. But then you're like, oh man, I really want to deal with that Ryzel Cross. So in that scenario, when you have these, you just get rid of either these two or these two to Dynamundo to out the cross. And then you're just summoning it back anyways. So additionally with this, next, if you have no access to Futsu or your prayers got stopped or whatever it might be and you just have something like this, you still go Dynamundo, get rid of the one card, and then on the opponent's turn, you're able to Regeki and then discard/negate. So that also comes up. So I would recommend SP is not super game-changing because the times SP comes up is when you do have the Ritual Monster on board, when you're just playing, like, sure, you have when you're playing Ryzel, you have the rank 4s. Okay, but when you don't have the Ryzels, that's when you need these 4. That's when SP is like, what the, you don't even have an XYZ for this to banish, and this does not say ritual in its name. So because you have this and that, like, hurts, like, that's why I played SP, but I realized it doesn't work because it looked blue. I was like, all right, but it didn't say ritual. So when you have weird scenarios like this, or when you're top decking and your opponent leaves a ritual, sometimes it'll happen in testing, not the tournament. When you have this, you do need the Dynamundo. Replace this with Dynamundo. And in the main deck, there are 3 changes that I said I would do, but I'm not going to say what they are yet. Just join the Masterclass, I'll show. That's 42 card main. Next, siding patterns are very vital in the deck. I have 20... at the tournament, I played 23 hand traps going second. Post side deck, 21 to 23, depending on the matchup. At the YCS, it's probably going to be 24. I do not want my opponent to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And because the only cards are, like, I'm siding across, I'm siding out so much shit. For now, I might change it back later. Like, I let them dwell with me, and I just play pure Ryzel, basically. The side deck is these. I did not get to get Nihilus in time. Otherwise, I would add a 3 of Nihilus over Ogre and Phantasme. However, Ogre is great versus Ryzel and is great versus Malice. So I wanted more things that are just generically good versus everything that you should be able to have. By playing 16 hand traps in the main, you're essentially able to put any of these 7 against every single meta deck. Additionally, by siding 3 talents, which I play going first, you can also put talents in going second. The thing is with talents is I'm trying to stop my opponent from playing. So if my opponent actually gets to play while I have talents in my hand, talents is redundant. I won't be able to resolve talents. At that point, I'd prefer this to be an Ice or a Saji or a Prayers, etc., etc. I would much prefer hand traps. The only time I'm putting talents in over the hand traps is if it's a very low impact hand trap. Example, Phantasme is only a draw 1 against that. Against that deck, I put in 2 talents. These set, like, next. Oh, another idea. Oh, against Malice, Bestials aren't that good. Perulia is not that good. So I either put in 2 talents here, or I remove the 2 talents for 2 Perulia, depending on what I'm feeling, or against Malice, I just keep more engine because I hope my 21 hand traps stop it. If I stop them from playing, I win. But if I have talents and 2 cards and they full combo, I still lose. That is and lastly, I do side a called by as well and a purification. So you side the purification strictly for going first. Just you move 3 going first. You remove 3 Fualos and whatever probably 2 imperm. Because I don't want trap cards. I don't want them to know what I have set. So or any 2 hand trap, maybe Bestials, whatever shit against the matchup. Yeah, that's the deck. And the deck performed absolutely incredible. I'm very happy with how it performed. And my one misplay that I want to show you that would have resulted in me winning, playing against Malice, I have Nib Imperm. I stopped him from playing because I'm insane at reads and I knew exactly what he had. The last card he had is a Malice monster, a Malice card in his hand. I'm reading a Malice monster. It's a Malice monster for sure because he uses a cat and I stop it. And then he has 2 unknowns. I have to enter battle phase to clear my Nibiru. I have X Ryzel and Node and Murakamo and an Imperm. I go X Ryzel effect to send. He strikes it. I'm like, okay. I have 1 play now. He has 1 last interruption in hand. 1 last interruption. I have an option. I Node, send Murakamo, make Detonator. And I set a Detonator in Twins. Sorry, Detonator and Imperm. But then, if he plays Link Spider in his deck, I lose. So my read was, if he plays Link Spider, I lose. And I don't know if he's in the new version yet. My misplay, was realizing the new version doesn't play Link Spider. because I sent Imperm instead of Murakamo because I'm like, fuck it. If he draws Bestial, I lose. I could have gone King of the Pharaoh Limps, Search Saji effect, Ritual Summon, and I auto win the duel. But my mistake of the read was that I didn't think he had a hand trap. He was going first, and he impulsed my node, resulted in me losing. It was pretty close. But overall, the deck performed absolutely amazing. And yeah, I would do a few changes, even though the deck performed great, just so I could like make it perfect for the YCS. And I'll show those on Tuesday on the masterclass. Thank you guys for watching the video. Second place regional, Mitsurugi best deck. And I'll see you guys in the masterclass on Tuesday.